Kenyans and actually Africans are leaving for diaspora. Loads of people are leaving for greener pastures. And that's what we're discussing today. I have East Africa's diaspora representative here. Introduce yourself.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. I'm getting you a title.
I feel very senior and serious, you know?
Yeah.
But thank you for the nice intro.
You're welcome.
Yeah. My name is George Nyakundi. I have been a software engineer for the longest time now. But currently I'm an iOS engineer working for a fintech away from home.
Away from home. Where away from home? Where are you away from home in?
Yeah. So I work in the Netherlands.
Awesome.
Yeah. Somewhere in Amsterdam.
Somewhere in Amsterdam. Awesome, cool. And you're also like a musician, photographer.
Yeah. I think I identify as an ambitious, curious individual.
Yeah.
And that has made me to be to have a hunger to discover, try out new things, and just explore and make memories.
That's why we vibe. We're the same.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so cool, so nice.
So why did you decide to leave the motherland, Kenya, home for Europe? What was the decision process? So why did you make that move? Yeah.
For starters, when I was leaving, it was in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh, COVID.
Right? Yeah, COVID. So I felt so confined because I was working from home.
Okay.
For the longest time, and it happened that at that time I was just trying to explore ways that I can be able to just discover other things, experiment, fail fast, and then and then recalibrate. So that's the desire to just get out of the house and stuff was met with the opportunity to leave for the Netherlands. I was interviewing for some 2 jobs. I got both jobs.
Oh, congrats! Look at you.
Yeah, I did, and I think it even became more harder because I had to make a decision whether to take either, because either had repercussions that either benefits or the demerits that I would need to evaluate and ensure that the decision I made it with the full knowledge of what it takes. Yeah, so I opted to leave for the Netherlands because in Kenya, most of us know that leaving Kenya to go and work abroad is not...
It's so fancy.
It does not
cool.
come by that easily as well. Yeah, so I was like...
But was your process easy? Like you just saw a job like online and you just applied? Was it as simple as that?
So what happened, at that time I had... Funny story, I was transitioning from being a full stack engineer.
Oh, yeah?
There was an opening at my job that you probably know well.
Yeah.
So, and there was a vacancy for an iOS engineer.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't I try this? But that had to take many nights of, extreme reading and tinkering with code and stuff. So it took me like 4 months or such, and that desire to, understand what iOS really is led me to join communities of iOS engineers in the world.
Yeah.
So there's a Slack channel where guys share about opportunities, they share about their experiences.
Oh, nice.
They give shameless plugs to the application. So you get to have a wide array of things to think about or to learn from as well. So from that is when now I got to see this job posting.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so and then
You just applied?
First of all, I reached out to the person who had posted. I was like, I'm really interested in this role. I have 5 months of experience in iOS, like legit. I was very genuine, I have 5 months of experience in iOS, but I'm really interested in exploring this opportunity. So I was like, all right, just send in your CV, write a motivation letter, and then let's see.
Let's see.
And then it happened that they were so quick to respond.
Oh, that's good.
so quick. I really enjoyed that process. And then we had the first interview. I got to learn about the opportunity, got to learn about what it meant if I got that role in terms of the remuneration, in terms of I had to leave.
Yeah,
For,
home to go to
exactly.
the Netherlands, yeah.
And then how long the interview process would be, like what steps and everything, which I was like, why not? Let me give it a shot. So like it was well structured, I would say, and it gave me time to think and to prepare adequately.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. So they helped you with like relocation allowances, the visa processing,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So funny story. I think back in, was it 2018 or 2019? I really wanted to go to Belgium to do a master's.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
It was a struggle because I remember going to the embassy of Belgium, struggling.
And like, what are you doing? I need your bank statements.
Yeah.
With I don't know how much in your bank. Yeah.
It was super. And then they eventually denied me visa.
After all
So
that.
I was like, I wouldn't want to go through this. So as compared,
African passports are hard.
I
Yeah.
know it's such a hassle.
Yeah.
So as comparing with the previous visa experience,
This was
I don't know, I went to the consular officers. Like, okay, you're here, your name, we have your details. Just give us your fingerprints. Then I think I gave them my passport photo. I didn't even pay a dime.
Oh wow, it was all. That's
I was
fantastic.
catered for, yeah, so it was quite painless, I would say.
Cool. So you've been living in the Netherlands for like 2 years now?
We'll be getting to 2 years in 4 months.
Okay, awesome.
4 or 3 months, yeah.
Tell me the goods. What's good?
Oh, that place is so efficient.
Oh yeah.
Super efficient.
Yeah.
That I super enjoy. I am a stickler for keeping time.
Yeah, no.
I'm a stickler for orderliness.
Yeah.
So I think I enjoy being in that space because then everyone appreciates and then would definitely, do everything just to ensure that they do not waste your time.
Yeah.
Funny story, like I have some neighbors. Once in a while they invite me for lunch.
Where?
No, dinner in the Netherlands.
Netherlands,
Yeah. And I was so shocked because they say that dinner starts at 6. By 6, guys are seated and they are already having
Kenyans.
soup. Like, what?
Kenyans will come at 8.
I know. So I really get to enjoy that.
So you
big
like the
time.
efficiency. Okay, what
Yeah.
else do you like?
I like the fact that resources are readily available.
Resources?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, say, if you want to get new equipment,
Oh,
or
yeah.
a
New Mac,
I
a new
know.
camera, just a mic.
within a day or
it.
two, you have it. Better yet, if you want to get books,
Oh yeah.
reading books, they are delivered at your doorstep.
Yeah.
So it's super. Like in terms of that, it gives you the desire to explore more because things are readily available.
Readily available.
Yeah, even though they are slightly expensive as compared to but they are
It's easy to get
exactly like in terms of time. Yeah.
Is a
So
thing,
there's
yeah.
that as well, and then the fact that systems work.
Yeah.
From my door to the office, it takes me an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
From door to door.
Yeah.
So I know that if I leave at 7:09, I
Yeah.
will catch my 7:13 bus. Then I will catch my 8-something train.
Yeah.
Then I will take my, tram. Like it's very orderly.
Yeah.
And it helps you even organize or plan your day quite efficiently. And you get to maximize on your time big time.
Awesome.
Like,
Cool.
yeah.
Any other stuff you like?
Well, I like the fact that I'm in a different space.
Yeah.
So I'm not in a comfort zone.
Exactly.
So it gives me that desire to, explore,
I always say
to try
it's important,
things.
yeah.
And also the fact that I get to deal with people from different walks of
Cultures
life,
and,
cultures and stuff.
Yeah.
Also shapes your mindset in a big way, because then you get to not think like a Kenyan. Because then, of course, the issues that we are facing as Kenyans in Kenya are not same as the problems they're facing.
for sure. Yeah.
Things like, of course, talk about mobile money here is a big thing. It doesn't work there.
It doesn't matter because
People
their
don't even
banks
care.
work, they
Exactly.
have cards. Very
So
good. Yeah.
it it helps you to think globally,
Yeah.
and then it gives you an idea of the potential that if we appreciate technology, as Kenyans we can achieve so much.
Yeah.
But then
We also need efficient
yeah,
processes, a good
we do big
government.
time,
Our
big time.
tax money needs to be put into, health, roads. Anyway,
I know.
I
yeah.
digress. So you've told me the good. What's the not so good? I mean, I can think of a couple, especially around the weather. Like Nairobi is just like beautiful sunshine. I always say Nairobi is like the
know.
perfect weather.
Look at us.
Look at us. Yeah, we're like, it's like summer here. The weather is beautiful. I don't know. Tell me, what is stuff that you find like challenging?
Let me tell you, there's I don't know if it's a Dutch saying or people like saying it.
Not
like
even you have
this.
Dutch sayings.
Yeah,
Eh?
well,
You forgot about African proverbs.
of course, those ones I never knew. Yeah, they're always there. They're always there.
Tell me about the Dutch sayings.
So their weather is something else. It's I don't know how to
The worst.
I don't know how to describe it.
Seasonal depression happens because of weather.
That
It's
weather is
dark and
crazy.
yeah.
It's dull
Yeah.
and there's intermittent rains.
Yeah.
Intermittent to the point that it even rains for less than 5 minutes.
I was just like,
And then in an interval of 30 minutes again it rains.
oh wow.
To a point that they even have an app specifically for monitoring the rain habits.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the probability of raining.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So weather, yeah.
It's different. The food, I miss Kenyan food. I remember the first time. So when I got there at around July.
Yeah.
So it was during COVID, of course, guests were not coming to the office.
Yeah.
There's this hybrid kind of working option. So I was still new. I don't know my way around. I'm still trying to discover. I'm still staying at the company provided accommodation. But I had to go to the office to pick my laptop and also meet my colleagues and stuff. So I go to the office. We are having lunch, and guess what is served?
Tell me.
Bread and salad.
Or like, where's
I'm
the
like,
food?
Where is the food? I was expecting something hot, like githeri. Let me tell you, that's the day I flashbacked
I'm
and
like-
remembered githeri and avocado. I was like, oh my goodness. I was about to cry.
Yeah, just cry.
But I'm getting used to it. The good thing is that when
Hey,
you're new, of
okay.
course, you do not know where to get all these things because either they have weird names or they are found in some other places or they even have these market days on Tuesdays and Thursdays or Tuesdays and Saturdays. So at times you would go to the market and buy things. So at least right now, I am able to, figure out things with the help of friends who've been there for a while that I got to meet later on.
Yeah.
At least it's easier for you to be able to find, like, to have a consistent way of, like, it's like I'm picking back, I'm coming back to what I'm used to.
Awesome,
Yeah,
cool.
So food is something else crazy.
And professionally, I mean, like,
In terms of the work,
yeah, just coming in from like we're coming from Kenya to like, as you said, a global company. Like, how was that shift? Was there like imposter syndrome going on? Were you like, actually, I'm so good?
let me tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
Let me tell you.
Tell me.
The first, I think, 6 months,
Yeah?
I was battling with imposter syndrome.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because for starters, I've just been doing iOS for 5 or 6 months.
Oh yeah.
I've been hired. Of course, they were like, I was exemplary at what I did. They were really impressed.
Yeah.
But then when you now go to start working, you're not like building apps.
Yeah.
You're building libraries and frameworks.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that in Kenya. Or
Yeah,
even the kind
exactly.
of, like, people talk about apps or want to put on, but they don't talk about building a framework or a library.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
That's a totally it's a mind shift.
shift,
Because
yeah.
then you have to think about ABI stability, you have to think about breaking changes, you have to think about the versioning and everything. Because if I
Yeah.
break something, then a customer who's using that library will struggle and then
Yeah.
they will have issues.
Yeah.
So then you have to think about that. Like, now the perspective is bigger and no one prepares you for that.
Okay.
So it was a big one for me, honestly. And at times I had big issues relating with colleagues who are not native speakers of English.
Okay.
So you would find that you would think that they
Yeah,
are
you guys
on
can
your
speak.
case,
Yeah,
like they are, you
yeah.
know, they're on a case, but really it's just they're trying
The
to
way
express
they
themselves.
express themselves.
But the best way they know too is not the best way that appeals to you.
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
you're like, this guy doesn't like me, or he has issues, or
Oh,
whatnot,
he's just
whatnot. He's just
racist.
racist. He sees that I'm black, so he does not like me. You
Yeah.
know. But over time, I've come to realize that they are actually putting in so much effort to even sit through an English meeting. I have a colleague who told me that he can only listen to up to a maximum of 15 minutes. After that, he's like, he has a brain, the brain shuts.
Yeah.
Because he can't understand how people are taking so much English like that.
Oh, wow. Where is he from?
He's from Russia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was a challenge as well. And at times you would have a meeting and someone is trying to express themselves, or they're trying to probably explain a problem. The English is jumbled up, and so you're trying to make out, okay, what are they saying?
What are they saying?
What are they saying? And then when you have a call and then they show like, okay, that one. Okay, you have to do this and this and this and
But
this.
I always say I like that because it just shows, like, I mean, it's all good, but, like, you know, as
Diversity,
Kenyans can, like, we can hold a conversation.
Yeah.
We're pretty good at English.
yeah.
Maybe there might be an accent and a pronunciation issue, but we're colonized good.
Exactly.
Is what I always say. Yeah.
Exactly. And then in terms of work, I think it's the first time in my life I got to appreciate the pay I'm given for the work I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm normally so spent. I am super spent to a point that I don't want to see even my work laptop.
Oh, interesting.
I just want to rest, because then you're either having meetings or you're having really deep conversations about a feature that needs to be introduced. You have to think about everything, and then you have to, let's say if you're proposing a solution, you have a spike, you are investigating, you have to present your,
Yeah.
what you've discovered to guys who are smart as well.
Yeah.
So by the end of the day, you're like, so like it's challenging in a good way, because then
Yeah.
it pushes you to the limit, to the next level.
Oh, cool.
That has been my experience. Yeah.
And then let me ask you, just like on the salary, because I can imagine, like, when you're offered salary in like euros, and then you start comparing, like, hey man, that's so much money. Like, you convert to Kenya shillings. But I know sometimes it's that shift of understanding. Actually, the cost of living in a lot of this, you can't compare to places like, Kenya. You can figure out how to live at a very low cost, for my opinion. But like sometimes in these Western countries, there's just like the cost of living is quite high. If you don't mind, can we talk through like what that looked like, how it happened in real life? Do you feel like, damn, I should have asked for more money, or yeah?
Yeah, honestly, that's the one thing that I wish I had more context and more information to work with.
No,
in
it's
the
time
first
to give
place.
people context. Yeah.
Yeah, because thing is, when you're in Kenya and you're offered an offer letter while in Kenya, your perspective or your mindset is glued or is limited to what you're used to. Someone said to me the other day, like, the only highest mountain that you've ever faced is the one that you've ever faced.
Yeah, exactly.
So even when you're planning to climb the highest mountain,
You
don't know how high. The only high you know is what you have faced already.
Yeah.
So then when you have that in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I'm offered, let's say 33,700 euros
Yeah.
for starters.
Yeah.
So when you convert that, right now I think the euro is going for shillings is like 130 or something. I'm like, wow,
Aye.
that's like 400 G's. Ish, that's so much money.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you just signed the offer letter
Just
and everything. You're like,
yeah.
you guys, I'm living for Europe. Then when you get there, you realize that getting a house is a hassle. Like most landlords or most agents who deal with housing, first of all, searching for a house is another issue we can talk about later. Mm-hmm. But let's say you've already gotten a place, like they were like, we'll now give you this place to rent. The rent has to be a third of your salary. Like, you must be earning 3 times.
Oh wow, as in it's like a requirement.
Most of them, well, it's not like legal, but most of them prefer that.
So
And
do they
would-
ask you for proof of this?
They do. They ask you
Oh,
for
wow.
your bank statement. They ask you for your salary slip. They even ask you for a letter from your employer.
Oh,
Such a crazy experience. Not
tenants
like, I know.
are Kenya.
Wait, it's another level. It's a different level. So housing is crazy. Getting a house in the first place is such a hassle.
What's a hustle? I thought like I remember like when I was like in Australia, you just like there's that website, you go to it. I mean, sometimes it'd be like a hustle of like making sure you can pay for it. It felt like a job interview. What's the hustle in Europe?
So the hassle is there has been an influx of people to Europe recently.
Immigrants?
Yeah,
Or
immigrants.
emigrants?
Okay,
yeah.
those ones.
Expatriates.
Expats. So there has been an influx of that, even with the recent developments of the war.
Yeah.
So there has been quite a number of guys who are coming in. So housing, of course, shoots.
Yeah.
So getting a house means that you have to even, at times you have to wait for up to 2 months.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I have.
Crazy.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like when I was looking for a house at that time, first of all, it's easy if someone refers you.
Oh gosh, really?
So let's say you are vacating your current
then
house, and then you tell your landlord or landlady or land person.
Yeah. That's another thing you have to make sure you're doing right.
I don't
The
want to
land
put myself-
person.
Land person. That I have a friend or a colleague who wants to move in. They'll be interested, and then they can now start the conversation. But ideally, there are sites which you go search. So you specify the zip code of that location that you want to stay. At times you can even filter by how much you want to
Budget,
pay.
yeah.
If it's furnished, if it's not furnished, if it's upholstered or not, if it has a good energy rating, such things.
Wow,
'Cause
energy rating.
Guys are very conscious about
The environment.
emission and everything and energy. Yeah, so it's such a hassle. By the time you get a house viewing, it's like 3 weeks into.
Oh,
And then
geez.
you go for a house viewing, you don't like it, you are like, no, I can't stay there, either something I did not like it. And then you have to schedule for another house
You have to
viewing.
just-
So that is time. So just
It's a lot.
it's a lot. And then of course some land people require you to have a 3 months deposit.
Oh, sheesh.
That's
And
too
how
much.
much roughly is, I mean, I know like Amsterdam can be quite expensive, but just on an average, if someone's watching this and are considering to move to like the Netherlands.
Depends. If it's a shared apartment,
Oh,
can be
gosh.
cheaper. Can be at times around 600,
Are you,
800.
you're past the stage of like sharing apartments? Because I'm always like, I could never, like I could do that
No,
when I was a
but
student,
at
but
times-
now,
At times it's
You have
the
to.
only because it's super expensive.
wow.
Because so that's for studio or shared. If it's furnished, of course the price
Goes up.
If it's closer to, let's say, a commercial space or accessible like a public transport system or the roads and stuff, of course it shoots up a little bit. And then so that means the number of bedrooms, if it has an on compound or a backyard and stuff, it shoots up as well.
Okay, wow,
So-
lots of factors.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the pay, we've talked about the food, you talked about the weather in terms of what you don't like. Do you miss home?
I do. So 2020 was last year, right?
No. When 2023?
Yeah.
2022.
2022. Oh
Yeah,
my
my
goodness.
friend.
It's
okay. It's all a
my
blur.
bad. So 2022, I think early in the year, there was this. It was a storm.
Oh
What
God.
was the name? Was it Jane or Kat? I don't know. I think it was Jane or something.
Storm Jane.
Yeah. I hope I'm.
Anyway.
If I'm not right, please you can
We
just
do
have
over there.
over there. That's Kathingi.
Yeah.
So it was really crazy, and then
You thought you were dying? Or the world was ending?
I thought that the world was ending. Because here's the scenario. I was living at a studio apartment, a furnished one, because I didn't have much time to look for a good house. So it was next to a highway.
Oh wow.
And then I see this announcement like, oh, there's gonna be a storm with, I think, speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour, even more. And then you just, like, your window faces the highway, and you can see the light, they call it light poles, or,
Yes, yeah.
swaying.
Guy.
And then you can actually feel, you can not only hear, but you can feel the wind.
Oh, wow.
It was super scary. And then you see on Twitter stories of guys who were either walking and then
They just got...
kanini wengine, but wengine wakaanguka. Some of them fell down. Sorry, so sorry.
No, it's okay. Speak Swahili.
Some houses, the roofs were swept off. Some cars, while parking, the trees fell on them. It was disastrous.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, so how do I die here? How will my people back in Nyamira know that their son who came here to the better than me is gone,
Yeah.
And then shortly after, I get COVID.
Oh my God.
I get COVID. I'm so weak. I'm so sick.
You're alone.
I'm alone. I'm staying here.
I feel for you, man.
It was crazy. I was like, you know what? When I recovered, I think that was February. So March, I recovered. I was like, you know what? I just have to go
You have
home.
just to go home. Yeah.
I didn't think twice. I just booked a flight.
That's
I
good.
came home for 2 weeks and then I went back.
Yeah.
So that was a really low experience. So yeah.
Yeah. When are you coming back home for good?
That's a really good question. I think it really needs good time to think about.
It needs some good time to think about it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it might take a few.
We're always welcoming you guys back home.
Yeah, everything is at home. Home
is home.
Home is where your heart is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you touched on this a little bit, but I'd like to understand, like, what do you do when you're struggling, like, with just adapting to a new place? I don't call it mental health, because I think it's just...
Much more than that.
Yeah, much more than that. It's just like... Yeah, it's like, again, sometimes even the weather affects you, seasonal depression, being black, there's no melanin, you need the sun, it's all these factors. How do you deal with it?
So I would speak about the health bit. So I was lucky, I was privileged, let me say privileged, to meet with some Kenyan friends at a church. The first people I meet are Kenyan, so they were so, so
you
nice.
See a black person abroad, you're like, hey, Sema, hi, can we like...
Yeah, what are the odds, What are the odds that they're Kenyan?
But Kenyans are everywhere.
Yeah. So
nice.
I was privileged to meet with them, so they at least helped me with at least knowing what to do. So they asked me to buy supplements and stuff.
Oh, nice.
So I bought supplements, they were helping me, but at times they are not enough. Because at times you feel so weak, you feel like so fatigued, you're just tired all through. Yeah, so other than that, for you to maintain, that right headspace to even stay productive and to deliver, like just to be you, you just have to do more than work.
Okay, yeah, I love that.
So
I agree.
During summer, there are some friends from church who normally play football.
Yeah.
So there's a football pitch like 10 minutes away, cycle, like bicycle ride. So I ride to the beach, play football, we catch up, speak some Dutch, get to interact with them and stuff. And then away from that now, because that you can only do during summer. So during these other seasons, then you must have something else that takes in your time. So I told you that I'm really curious and I'm ambitious. So I've been learning piano. So I bought a nice piano.
Nice.
I also learn guitar stuff. So I do that as a way of just unplugging,
Yeah.
and also exploring the creative side of me.
Yeah.
Other than that, I try as much as possible to just engage with friends back in Kenya. So at times I'm either on video calls and stuff, but not that much. Because at times it can be overwhelming since you're like, okay, my day is packed with being on the computer all through.
Yeah,
again, I have to brave the phone calls. At times it's like, okay, just a tiny bit. But my way of doing it is I try as much as possible to focus on my hobbies, that is learning piano and guitar. At times, on a lucky day, there's a nice football match, so I watch. When I feel like, hey, I just need a break, I either I have a monthly subscription for train rides. I just go to the train station,
Just go
take a ride to a different city, enjoy the
Explore.
explore, and then come back. Because unless you're really intentional about these things, and unless you're really outgoing, it'll get to you.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
And the thing is, no one is looking out for you. Of
Yeah,
course,
you're by
they have
yourself.
provisions.
Yeah.
They have provision for when you get to that state. But before you get to that state, you have to
Yeah.
make the first move and see that at least you're in good shape. So I try to do that as much as possible. Not many a times, once in a while, you find that there are some friends who are moving houses. So I'm like, hey, you guys, would you need some like me to help? So I just go there, carry things, have banter, eat some ugali and some nice stories. And then, because that also opens you up to understand what other guys are going through
Yeah.
and how they are coping with everything. So then you're able to, analyze and then pick the best from all these expenses and then craft your own survival mechanism.
Awesome. That's very clear. I love it. I love that balance. And I completely agree with you. I know, like, I picked up so many random skills, like when I was living abroad, from sewing to teaching Pilates to and you get
Pilates, you've taken it to the next level.
I even take exactly.
Know,
so you never know how you
that's
building all
insane.
these skills can just help you become like a very well-rounded person. So totally amazing. I guess my final question, what choice would you make? Would you choose being happier on a boda or sad in a range?
Is this a random question or is
Yeah,
it
this is random. But I think it kind of relates to this subject because I think Diaspora is a really good place to help you financially. I think, and also even just grow professionally. But sometimes, it's all these elements of, like you say, in resources and money and availability and consumerism.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just feels like, what, I have all these things, but I still not happy. I'm not fulfilled. And for me, that was one of the reasons I decided to move on. So that's kind of why I'm asking you this random question.
I see it in a different light though.
Okay.
Happiness is a state of the mind. Because Jackie, I can give you 1,000 shillings, Kenyan shillings, and you can still not be happy.
Yeah.
There's someone I can give that 1,000 shillings and they'll be like, you are a game changer. You've changed my life completely.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what you think would lead to your happiness. Because then if you do not have those factors down, then it becomes hard for you to quantify if you're happy or to evaluate and see, am I happy or not?
Yeah.
Because for instance, of course, being happy is not like you're happy all through.
No. Yeah,
you have moments of lows and stuff. So then if you would want to say that I just want to be happy 100% all through,
it's impossible. Yeah.
Can't happen.
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, what do I have? Am I content? Am I happy with the little that I have? What can I make out of this?
So
if you're unable to make good from what you have, then even if you have a range, then it can't make a difference. So the only thing I would say, not directly picking the options that you gave me, is even if you have a border, even if you have a border and you're able to probably, I've seen these guys who do facelifts.
You do a facelift on your border.
Give it in a range. But if you're able to use whatever you have and then make the most of it,
that's all that matters.
Because the thing I also struggle with, I think it's a reality. Jackie, if I see you with a nice phone, I desire that phone. Maybe I don't need it. I just want it for the sake of having it. I don't know why you have it or what you use it for. But because I saw you with a nice phone, I want it. And that has made most of us be desirous of many things.
But without actually knowing why you want this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're able to establish the things that you need.
And know your values, know what you stand
it's
for.
not about what you want, it's what you need to ensure that at least you're in the right state of mind, you're able to relate with people peacefully, you're able to appreciate, everything around you, then you would even be happy. Because happiness is in your mind. If you just because you can, something very meager can tip you off, can make you, struggle or stay sad or just struggle with everything. So I would choose happiness, and that means I would choose what I have.
Okay.
If I'm able to get more, well and good. But then I can't focus on what I don't have.
Yeah, I like that. That's true, and
Yeah,
that's like a lot of like living in the moment, appreciating the now.
It helps you appreciate
Yeah.
so much. Because then, one thing I know is you have everything you need around you to make you happy.
Yep.
It's just a matter of,
Just look
are you
around and
looking?
see, yeah.
Are you looking enough? So yeah, just be curious, look around you, be appreciative of what you have, and then utilize that to make the most of it.
Awesome, cool. And your T-shirt, did you make it? Or?
There's a friend of mine.
That's so
It's
cool.
called Sharon.
Is she in Kenya?
Yeah, she's Kenyan. She runs a T-shirt company.
People give us that.
Yeah, she's called Tees by Sharon.
Teas by Sharon.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah,
We will do that.
Really dope. Yeah,
Cool. Any parting shots? Anything last things you want to add on this topic for people even looking to move to work in diaspora? Yeah.
Yeah, two categories generally for guys who are, let's say, they want to move abroad or something. Just be open-minded, because then the environment is different. So you would have to deal with the change of, so many things: language, culture, traditions. All these emerging topics and concepts. You have to learn how to deal with that. So if you're not open-minded, then it becomes hard, because you'll be like, no, I can't do that. I cannot be able to. You need to fit into that society. Lower your expectations.
Lower your expectations. But you got there with such high expectations.
I know, but at times most of us end up struggling because we have
you have just
extreme expectations, and then you're like, I
remember, because I remember like the reason I moved to Australia is because I used to watch a lot of Neighbours. Neighbour. That was why I chose. I was like, have you seen that life they live? Like the beaches, it's like, yes, it's there, but as soon as like I learned,
it takes time.
Exactly. Like it does take time to figure out living in like outside of Kenya, making the friends, making the connections with the country, and understanding the culture. I completely love that.
Exactly. So maybe just to ride on what you just said, moving countries is an investment.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That every investment has to take time.
Yeah,
for
I
it
love
to mature and for you to even see the reason why. Yeah.
And then even like coming back, you'd have to invest into coming back.
Exactly, you have to invest, and so either way, you really have to be patient and cut yourself some slack. So that's generally for anyone who wants to move. For guys in tech, please stay curious and seek to learn as much as possible. Don't limit yourself to what your peers are doing within. Like your scope is not just Kenya or Africa. It's much more beyond global. That. So stay curious, and then if you're able to, join many programming communities as much as possible. It's funny. Let me tell you something. There's a guy who has written a book on code data and some Swift concurrency, really legit things. I work with that guy at work.
Oh, how cool.
I know, like, I was so sure, like,
what?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And then that guy was like, hi, George, I want to write something about the framework that you're working on. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
So it's
so your imposter syndrome just disappears at that point. You're like, hey,
just goes. So just as much as possible, join communities, relate with people, attend if they have, all this. The good thing is that after post-COVID, many meetups happen online. Even there's one about iOS. I think it's called iOS Dev Community or something. Then we normally have monthly meetups online, and you get to relate with incredible, amazing, talented individuals, and they just shift your way of thinking. It's a big investment. And one thing, don't be a jack of all trades.
Oh,
it does not pay. It doesn't pay.
In tech.
In tech, yeah. It's good to know, but don't
Yeah.
seek to do everything.
Yeah, because I mean, for you, your story, you really,
Yeah,
I remember
well-
you really focused iOS
Yeah.
is what I want to do. And it's
Exactly.
like that focus has really helped you.
Exactly. And because then it helps you build a background, and then now from that you can base that. Of course, it's good to know other things, but for a while, ensure that you've established yourself as someone. Let's say if you want to do backend,
Yeah.
a backend engineer, be good at that.
Be the best back
And then
end
explore other things so that you can be able to collaborate and and interact with other engineers in the field as well.
So go deep and not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
white.
yeah.
Cool. I do have a final question. Sorry, I know it says parting short. Now, since you're back, I know, people just look at you guys from Diaspora, and it's proven, like, we can see how much money you bring into the country, so we know. Has perception about you changed? Like, when you come back home, is there more expectations to provide more? How do you deal with all that kind of stuff?
That's my current struggle.
Yeah.
My current struggle because it pulls you off. It pulls you off as an individual, mostly mentally, because the expectation is off the roof.
Yeah.
Of course, most of us believe that when someone is in the States or is outside Kenya, they're making moolah, they are living the life.
Dollars.
They're like, But in reality, it's not the same, because then there's a change of challenges. Because then right now I have to think about, how do I pay for my own insurance?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Like things like insurance, I pay for my own health insurance. Of course, cost of living is insane.
Insane. Food.
If it's food, clothing, they are just insane. Because and then when you're coming back, you guys are like, okay,
You're here.
you're here. I was doing something. I wanted some money. I'm like, okay, right now I don't have. I can only get this. When do you think you will get? Like, oh my goodness.
Oh, gosh.
It's very, like, there's so much expectations, and if people who are around you are not really keen, it might push you into depression, sadly. And that I think it has affected many guys, because then it pushes guys to overwork so that they can be able to get this money.
Get the money.
To sustain all this. But again, for you as an individual, then you miss out on the basic, like even consistent meals, or even taking some time off just to have mental break and stuff. And it's crazy. So that's my current struggle. I'm still learning how to do that. Because then the issue is, if let's say, it's good to at least ensure that your family, friends, and people around you are happy, so you can be able to share money. But what happens when you are in dire need of money? Sending money from Kenya to abroad can take, let's say, a day or two. And of course, it might not be as much as you would want, because then the needs over there are different from the needs over here. So then you're like, okay, what do I do? How do I gently dismiss, or how do I gently ensure that I do not look like I am boasting because I'm at a vantage point. And it's not like you're boasting or anything, but it happens that people feel like, this one, ever since he went to Nini, he's been having some attitude, But it's not like that. It's just you're trying to learn how to appreciate this new state, and also still remain as true to you, to the people around you, as much as possible. So it's a big challenge.
Yeah.
And I think if you ask many guys who are now abroad, it's a challenge that affects them as much.
Yeah, I think black tax is always harder.
It's crazy.
For people in diaspora than here. Here we're all struggling. You've seen this economy, but here it's just like you got dollars.
Yeah, you got dollars, Yeah, but there are many opportunities. So it's good for also them to strive to to come and experience it, because then it opens up their mind.
Yeah.
They get to appreciate everything around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I have something like Thank you. So that was really good. Thank you for coming out on a nice summer day in Nairobi. I know you're heading back to the Netherlands.
Don't talk about it.
It's okay. We're here for you. We'll keep checking on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you. Yakundi is such a great guy. Did you even say your name? By the way, I think
I did. Right?
Oh, you did. Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Great guy. Always happy to share a good vibes. So I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Please make sure you subscribe, comment, share, and see you next time. Kwaheri.
Bye.